It's On begins right now.
The Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers will face off in Super Bowl 54.
A dog with some weird eyes gets a forever home after photos of that husky go viral.
And they are passionate about music and teaching it. We're getting a tour of Studio 88's new location in Lexington on It's On now. Hello everyone, happy Monday, January 20th, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I'm Seth Phillips and of course Angie Bevan sitting right next to me.
Happy to be here as always.
Thanks for
no Jennifer Palumbo
that's
today.
right.
She's got the day off.
Off
Here
for
I am.
the holidays, so you're stepping in. Thank you so much for being here.
Right.
How's your weekend?
It was a good weekend. Gosh, not a whole lot going on. Of course, watching football games. Our household was sad to see the Titans
I think a lot of
defeated.
people were sad to see the Titans defeated.
So my husband's from Nashville.
Oh,
so
okay. Well, that
he's
makes
been a
even
Titans
more
fan
sense
from
as to
day
why you
one
would be upset,
since that franchise started. And so we had high hopes, but they had a better season. Getting to the postseason like that than people thought they would, and so that was reason enough to celebrate. But yeah, it always stinks when you lose.
I know, especially a team that you really want. I don't really have a dog in the fight. I mean, we're going to talk more about this coming up. But I mean, just to have a team that you're like, oh, I don't really like the four that may make it, but at least one of them I could root for. Yeah. I'll root for them. But then of course it didn't work out. But that's okay. That's the thing about football is you never know who's going to go. But there's some surprising things that are happening with the Super Bowl this year. So yeah, it's going to be good. Unlike the national championship that happened last week, as you well know.
That feels like distant history now.
No.
But this is your first day back
on the show.
This is so welcome back to Seth, everyone.
I'm gonna
you're
at least
still
revel.
riding on that high of national championship. That was awesome.
Better believe.
I was rooting for LSU.
Thank you.
I wasn't going to be too upset if they didn't lose, but I was rooting for them against Clemson. Of
course. I like to say that we needed the support, but really,
no, you don't.
We didn't.
You don't need it.
We did. I mean, Clemson. No one was talking about Clemson, and nobody really cares if Clemson wins. Because it's like, oh, they won last year.
Have you talked about that in South Carolina?
I've talked about
before.
South Carolina. Okay, yeah, one state out of the union. They even showed this map that was like all the states that were.
Yeah, you always see those
like geotagged in Google's, like who's going for Clemson, who's going for LSU. And
was it overwhelming LSU? I haven't seen that.
No, it wasn't. It was actually like pretty split down the middle, but it was ridiculous. You're telling me that people in Alabama are going to be rooting for Clemson?
Who has whooped them?
Right.
A couple years.
No, they were all on the LSU train, even though LSU and Alabama have a big rivalry. It's like, no, we're going for the SEC, and we're definitely going against the team that beat us last year in the national championship. So I don't know. It was good. It was good to go. It was good to be there. New Orleans was an absolute blast.
New Orleans is always
a good time. But
love that city.
For 60,000 LSU fans, just sitting right there on Poydras Street, right outside the stadium, and it was amazing to see. It was like the march down Poydras.
You pretty much got to have a home crowd.
It's basically what it was, and I wasn't upset about it. I tell you what, though, Clemson fans showed up. I will give them this. There was a big. I mean, they did have half the allotment, so they had a lot of orange
50-50
on the other side of the stadium. And I tell you what, when they would score, it was loud. Obviously on the other side of the stadium. It was real quiet where we were, but it was loud, and they had these cool cheers that they do. So it was just a really cool experience to be in that stadium for.
How many weeks until college football starts again?
I don't even.
You probably got it written down somewhere.
We still have to get through baseball, basketball, track and field, hockey, you name it, and then we got to get the Olympics, and then we got to get into the summer when it's like the comatose time of sports when nothing's happening.
There's that day in June or July where there's
and everybody's just like, come on. The Freedom March this morning, 10 o'clock, right, is when it went down?
Yeah, 10 o'clock here in Lexington, of course, celebrating MLK Day.
I heard that it was an absolute wonderful turnout. I saw some of the video that we had in the 12 o'clock, so that's really good. I mean,
it is always good. It's so good because they get so many students involved and so many leaders here in Lexington, and you get all sorts of organizations, and a lot of them come together for the Unity Breakfast that's early in the morning on the Monday that is always Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So it's it's a celebration, but it's a way to commemorate and look back and honor.
Good to see, and not at all surprising, how many people braved the cold this morning. Because it's been cold.
And it was the same deal last year. We had those I think we had some near record lows at some point last year.
Around that time.
Remember that was the big Arctic vortex.
The
remember that?
polar vortex.
I'm sorry, polar
Oh yes,
vortex.
no, the Arctic
Yes.
vortex, not quite as bad as the polar vortex.
polar.
But trust me, whatever vortex comes your way, you certainly don't want to be outside. But good to see all those people go down and celebrate such an amazing person's life. So that was good to see.
Big day here in
All right,
Lexington.
well, we have a big show today. We are getting a tour of Studio 88 here in Lexington, and author, blogger, TV talent Donna Bazos shares her tips and tricks to help moms and kids stay on track when it comes to New Year's resolutions. Yeah, I tell you what. But let's go ahead and take a look at what's on now. The stage all set for Super Bowl 54. The Kansas City Chiefs will face off against the San Francisco 49ers in Miami. The Chiefs will represent the AFC after topping Tennessee Titans 35-24, and the 49ers will represent the NFC after beating the Green Bay Packers 37-20. It's been 50 years since Kansas City has made it to the grand finale. On January 11th, 1970, the Chiefs defeated the Minnesota Vikings 23-7 in Super Bowl IV at Tulane Stadium. San Francisco's most recent trip was in 2013. Super Bowl 54 takes place February 2nd, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. It's going to be, I think, a really great game.
It will. We kind of talked about the games this weekend already. You gotta pick. I mean, you going Chiefs, 49ers? What do you feel?
I really, like I said, I don't care.
You don't
who
care,
wins.
but
I want to see the halftime show because that's always fun. Who is it this year that's supposed to be?
It's J-Lo and
Oh, jeez, yeah. You can. Oh, Shakira. Shakira.
I was
That's
going
what
to
it
say
is.
Sierra, who is a singer as well. but
Shakira
it's
belly
not Sierra.
dancing is all I need
Sierra
to see
sang
in this Super Bowl. Okay, that's
Sierra
it.
sang the
That's enough for
national
me.
anthem a few years back.
Demi Lovato's singing the national anthem this year, so
like
good to
big,
see her
like,
back.
comeback,
Yeah,
sort
good to
of.
see her come back, and
See what happens.
I think that's going to be a good show.
I think the
for
national
all of
anthem's
them.
that's going to be nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
That's a big.
it is.
I mean, I know all eyes are on you at the halftime show too.
But you at least have like
But-
all the sound,
Yeah, and
and you're in the
it's
moment.
the
like
pageantry of it all.
The Star Spangled Banner, you're just by yourself. I mean,
just
yeah,
you.
they're singing with you, but
And
it's like,
don't mess it up.
oh my goodness,
Gosh,
I've
don't
seen
mess
some.
it up.
I've seen some videos on YouTube.
seen
if
a
you
lot of-
if you need to go down a YouTube hole, type in national anthem mess ups.
You'll feel
and
really
you-
good about yourself for a while.
You'll feel a little non-patriotic, but trust me, it is.
But at least
a
I
lot
know
of-
the song.
Exactly. I think until I'm singing it, then I'm like, I don't know. All right.
All right, let's talk about this little buddy,
yeah.
a Siberian Husky. Take a look. Okay, It's taking a look, that's for sure. Unusual eyes. It's been adopted after a Facebook post went viral of this pup. Jubilee has an eyelid deformity that makes it appear as if she's always surprised. A breeder gave the dog to a nonprofit shelter back in 2018. That's because the breeder just didn't think that Jubilee would be sold because she was too weird looking. The veterinarians at the Husky House shelter gave her a throat checkup, and besides the strange expression on her face, Jubilee is normal and healthy in every other way. After a couple of years, the shelter had no luck in finding a new home for Jubilee. The shelter then posted a photo on their Facebook page, hoping to find someone to adopt her. That worked. More than 150 people applied to adopt the 4-year-old Husky. Husky House announced on Saturday Jubilee did find her forever home. She's with a family that had actually previously adopted a dog from them as well. So
I don't get it. I don't get how it didn't, like, someone didn't see that and think selfie opportunities.
I know.
Or social media opportunities.
she does look kind of silly, but it's not in a
No,
bad
not at
way.
all. There's
She looks
nothing wrong with the
super
dog.
friendly
There's nothing
and-
wrong with her.
hopefully she can close her eyes okay. Or
You think she just keeps her eyes open
Well,
all the
no, 'cause
time?
then
I think they'd get really
get a little dry
at that point.
So I think it's
but
sweet.
no, yeah, I mean, I who wouldn't want a unique dog?
Right. It makes the dog look sort of
Think
Like animated,
about
you
the
know, like a
social
character.
media opportunities where you could like come around the corner and oh my gosh, you've got a surprise dog. Yeah, or like you I don't know, just anything.
Any
I
little
can't-
thing surprises her.
Any little thing you could use to like
sweet.
act like this dog is surprised, and then of course throw it on social media. It could have its own Instagram account. It would have more followers than me on the first day. I can
It would.
promise you that.
not hard to do.
Not hard to do at all. I've only got
hard at
like
all.
200. But regardless,
He's just throwing it out there.
yeah, listen. All I'm
it out
saying
there,
is,
everyone.
I'm glad this dog got a good home.
I know.
Because it deserves one. All
sweet.
dogs deserve
Cute.
a good. All cats, all animals. And I got to throw it out there for everybody. I cannot be specific on this. All right, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have released their findings from a recent study. What states have the least physical activity? In particular, 7 states, including, get this, Kentucky, Louisiana, and Tennessee, reported the highest levels of inactivity. In these states, 30% or more of adults were physically inactive. Now, Colorado, Washington, Utah, Oregon, and D.C. were the most active areas in the nation, shocker, with less than 20% of physical inactivity levels. According to the findings, the CDC recommends 150 minutes of physical activity each week or 30 minutes a day across 5 days.
This isn't surprising.
It's
the same
not.
old studies year in, year out. It's the same states that are supposedly more active, and it's the same states
think about
that
what
don't.
all of those states have.
Mountains, water,
things to do, hiking. Not that we don't have them here. We really do not have an excuse because you've got the Red River. It doesn't matter where you live in Kentucky. It's only like an hour drive to get here from Lexington.
A lot of times,
it's very close.
Too, though, I think some of the bigger cities, you think about a Denver or a DC, and you've got the cities build themselves around
green spaces.
The green space, the landscape. They have nice hike and bike trails. They have water access, and sometimes in smaller places it's tough to find that.
No, absolutely. I have to drive up to Ohio to go. They have all these amazing bike trails that from Cincinnati up to Columbus and all these other things over to Dayton. So yeah, I mean, there's all these states that are moving in that direction, which I like to see. But at the same time, it's like all these other states that you hear about. Louisiana's flat. There's nothing to do there. And I can tell you right now, as being somebody who moved from Louisiana to Oregon to Kentucky, my activity, my getting out and going do things didn't start until I moved to Oregon.
Really?
Because there's nothing to do in Louisiana. So yeah, it's just how it is.
Yeah. So you hope that changes. I think it's also a bit of a mentality among people that live there. And so I hope that in our lifetime we see some of those changes in Kentucky and Tennessee and the states that are lagging behind. So everyone can be a little healthier.
All right. Well, it can be tough to keep those New Year's resolutions.
It can be. If you've already broken yours, do not give up yet. Tips from Mom on the Go and blogger Donna Bozzo. It's on next.